Hey everyone, this is episode 111 of Noodle Time. Welcome back. Here with me is the mouse tracker right here, OSG. And it is with this episode, at least for the start, it's going to be DynamoFanTV, Jorge and David. How's it going, y'all?
Thank you guys for having us.
Good.
Hey, OSG mileage tracker, 14 miles to, 14 miles back. I like this mileage tracker, but, you know, I still prefer going to Houston, man.
No, like it's just annoying that we got the loss here, and of course us is staying here, and you guys coming in all the way from Houston, and man, 3-0 loss to Austin FC2, and the boys did alright for the first 5 minutes, and I don't want to talk about the game no more, man. Like it's just like that.
We're gonna correct you real quick right now.
3-1.
Yeah, because that nice little goal at the end on the very last whistle to end the game, 3-1. The only good highlight of the game, the only attack of the game, I believe. But you know, I kind of want to get DFTV's thought on this game. This was, as you said, 3-1. There was a red card involved, but to me it looked like it was a struggle to. That's my word, but to execute the game plan that the Dynamo brought today. Either it was the Austin press, I don't know. Give me y'all's thoughts. What did not happen correctly for the Dynamo today?
All right, I'll go ahead. Right, you have to give credit where credit is due. Austin knew that the wings, the Dynamo often lead them open, right? High press, they got to them, and then the first goal, right? It was not good, right? The press got to them, and early goal.
5 minutes in.
Yeah, 5 minutes in, and from there they just continued. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Continue to do that, and then a red card, and then from there, questionable.
A questionable red card.
Questionable, yeah.
Definitely not a red card.
Yeah.
VAR. Where you at?
Yeah, VAR and MLS Next Pro.
No, it's Next Pro. Where is it, man? No, but yeah, when I was initially exaggerating, the game was still 3-1, but like the entire game, you just felt like those were out of nowhere. Like they were just playing around, or they was just not synchronized because they were all together, just building from the back. They couldn't do anything at the top, and midfield, they were just there was still nowhere to be seen. The passes were not connecting all together, and obviously because they were not feeding the forwards, nothing was going on up top, and I think we only had one shot on goal even. So it's just disappointing. And just going back to the penalty, I felt like it not the penalty, but just like the red card. That was such a rough red card. I felt like it was a yellow card just based where we were standing at, and the referee got it right the first time, but for some reason he was like, red card, I guess, because
yeah, if you were watching the game, you saw it was a red for Doxo, but denying of a goal scoring opportunity, which means the attacker was past the last defender. In our eyes, and I think everybody else's judgment, at least for the Houston side, there was Abidusu, was still within playing distance, and it should not have been a red card. He did show a yellow. He talked himself out of it, showed a red. Unfortunate. You can't do that. You got to stick with your decision. But going back to your midfield play, like you said, Valverde was absolutely a freaking ghost, and he's been proven at every game he's a freaking ghost. So I don't think that man needs to start anymore. He doesn't move around. He's not mobile, and that was part of the disconnect in the midfield, because you still have Sebas Rodriguez, and you still have Diego Gonzalez trying to work their butts off. But I don't know, transition midfield, trying to get it out to the wings just didn't work, man.
It's a bit rough. It's no excuses, obviously, but Xavier Valdez and Sebastian Rodriguez coming back from international play. One coming back from Slovenia, and Rodriguez and Valdez coming back from the Caribbean, I believe. Them representing that and coming in not too long ago, but still the midfield. Valverde, he may not seem like he's in the game, but stats wise, like David and I have talked before, he does what's not on paper. Silla, Diego Gonzalez, they mobilize, they move around a lot, and like you guys mentioned, the press from that Austin brought in today, it was high and unexpected for the Dynamo, for D2, and the early red card, not what you want, especially on the road in a Texas derby, I guess we could call this one.
Yeah, for sure.
Since the two teams started together, there was a disconnect, I feel. The service not there, but like you said, you got to give credit where credit is due, and Austin took care of this game.
It seems like to me that Austin came out with that game plan, performed the press, got that early goal, and we didn't see Dynamo make any adjustments or try to make any adjustments. They were playing the ball direct, and then Honor wasn't even making, my eyes, wasn't even making the correct runs in some certain instances. 2 defenders around him, he's trying to make a run. As an attacker, I look at that, I'm not going to put the ball over the top for you. That's not going to win. So playing direct, we didn't make any adjustments in my eyes. I don't know if y'all saw it. Game plan adjustments weren't made or just couldn't execute it because the press was just too much.
Yeah, you said it, right? I agree, right? I feel like you're down 2-0, why not go out and risk, right? And I think they did not risk, and they need points, right? Right here, if you draw it, a 2-0, you draw it, you go to penalties, you fight for 1 point. Every point now for this season is important, right? And they're going to need them because the last 3 games, 2 of them are at home, but, man, they're not going to be easy teams, right? So I definitely agree with OSG. I felt like the team could have taken more risk, but at the end of the day.
This could have been a momentum builder for the playoffs. I think Fox got the standings of where are we sitting right now.
Yeah. Austin leapfrogged us with a win here, so we're now down to 9th place, and Austin is up by 1 point. And the 7th place, at least a spot up above Austin, is 36 points. So Houston will need 3 points in the next game to catch up at least, and depending on our results, we'll see how that goes.
As of right now, right?
Yeah, as of right now. But yeah, like it's a tough game to lose, like on all aspects. But
still have not won here in Austin for the second team or the first team. So first team comes in next week and tries to, again, this is just not a bad. This is just a bad sign though. It's going to continue. But one last question for DFTV here, for me at least. 3 games left in the season, you said?
Yeah.
9 possible points, and the whole table is, right next to each other.
This would have been great momentum. Do the Dose have enough in them to make that 8th place spot?
I'll start off. I do believe so, especially at home, where recently they've been taking care of games. Not last home game, where unfortunately they blew a lead and lost in penalties.
And Lena Chara scored.
Yeah. But, if the organization really wants to go 3 for 3 in the club's history for playoffs, they do make it in, and send Gabe Siegel, who hopefully recovers from his concussion, just in time, and maybe send down some more players like Brooklyn Reigns or Tate Schmidt. But that's just in my eyes. But yeah, I do see them making playoffs. It's going to be a tough one, and it might go down to decision day, just like last year, where they barely snuck in. But those are my takes.
I definitely agree. I think they will make it. Right, next game is against Colorado. They're bottom of the table, and it's a must-win. And like my partner said, they will likely send down first-team players. Right, we see them more at home, and they keep coming down. So definitely, if you bring in first-team players, then the Colorado, and then from there, it will probably take until decision day. But I believe that if the boys really do want it, that they can get it.
If they can get 6 points in the next 2 games, they could just maybe take it easy on decision day. But at the same time, I get it's a struggle. You have players moving around so much with being Dose. And again, I know the number one game plan is not to just go out there and just win, but to train, to perform, to improve, to get yourself prepared for the first team. But they are competing. They do want to win. They do want to make the playoffs. So I know this is going to be heart-wrenching. What do you think Diego's in there telling them right now as he's getting the voice together?
Well, in the interview that we just recorded, I can see him very emotional, in the sense of just being engaged in this team and trying to get into the next step, because he believes in this team. He believes in all the players and the coaching staff, and they know they can make it to the playoffs for the 3rd time in a row. And it's going to be up to them, like he said, but I personally know that they can do it. They proved us wrong, at least for me, early in the year. They lost the first 5 games, and they're still in the playoff picture now. So this team can do anything, but it's up to them at the end of the day.
Final thoughts from DFTV?
It's just, I think they've got it. I think we all knocked it out and said what is hopefully does come into light, and they do make playoffs. But yeah, that's another fact. They did lose the first 5 games, and it takes a struggle, because not every player is contracted. They've brought in a lot of academy players. Lucas Brugman being one that scored today. But those are my thoughts.
Yeah. Maybe we can see Andy Batioja, right?
I hope so.
I hope. And maybe Exxon Narsu, right? Perhaps.
Yeah,
but probably not if they do not make playoffs. But like I said, I think the boys have it within them, right? They need to focus because, like Andres said, right, the season started off really poorly, but there have been changes, right? There have been a lot of new players that are pitching in here, academy players, international players. So I think they can do it, but they just have to really play nearly excellent, right? Because all teams are looking to go into the playoffs.
And my final last question. You got to speak to the coach immediately following the game. Anything out of that?
Man, just not the result he wanted. Nobody wanted this result. Just you.
It's a tough one. It's just his second game as well, being the head coach for this team too.
Yeah, it's a tough task for him, and it makes it even harder, right, with the red card. So that's why I would just honestly take this one with a grain of salt, right, because the red card, I believe that it will not happen, right, during these last 3 games. Let's hope not. Yeah. But that really it took him out of the match.
Yep. And guys, next Sunday you better be at Sabercat Stadium to watch Dynamo take on Colorado Rapids 2. Tickets are free, man.
Show out,
Show out, be loud, and we'll get into the next episode. So check it out.
Thank you guys for having us.
Yeah.
H is up. Drive home safe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys. So we are back to record here right now on a Sunday afternoon after the Dash game. We'll get to that later, but we just gotta focus on the Dynamo now because Houston Dynamo, man, we asked for goals and we finally got it against RSL for the 150th time this year. 4-1, man. Whoa. I don't know where to start.
Hey, let's just put it this way. This is the 9th match in the past 2 seasons against RSL, and we've completely dominated them. They won 1 playoff game, which was a tie in regulation. They won in penalty kicks, and then I think they won 1 home game. So, we were just dominated in these past 9 games, and then here we go again. And RSL, you made the biggest mistake of your life coming into Houston on a 99-degree temperature weather, 96-degree, whatever the hell it was, and you played into the Dynamo's game plan. You did not park the bus, sit back, and try to counter us. You tried to play your game, I guess. You tried to attack us. We attacked back. There's where you messed up. You opened the field up for us, and you opened the game up for us, and that's what I think that's what the biggest difference was. RSL just got out coached this game, and Ben Olsen was like I told him in the press conference. Ben Olsen, your game plan was brilliant. Made him chuckle, made him laugh. I was happy for that. I didn't get the side eye. So I was like, hey, but to me, that's what it was, man. I think RSL just didn't. They chose the wrong game plan. They're frustrated. They can't beat the Dynamo, and the Dynamo put their game plan into effect and executed, and the goals came like they had. Bossy with his friggin' banger, brilliant. He has the technique to do it, pulls it off. Saba later in the game, Ache with the assist to Dorsey, and then later Ponce, Clark playing it up to Blessing, and then it was just everything worked out. And this is what it's supposed to look like. We just struggle, but I think RSL played into our game plan is what I was trying to focus on here. That helped Dynamo's game plan and get that 4-1 win. And technically, we scored all 5 goals, by the way.
We did. They did not score a single goal here. You got it right. All your points are right. I feel like RSL had the blueprint as to how to approach us into this game. Just going back to the game against them on the road, because they at least they knew they had an idea of what to expect from a Dynamo and not let us keep the ball too much, or at least keep up the press. And you can see in this game that they were putting up the pressure insanely against Houston, just to try to get the ball back and hope they could just mess up on something to try and capitalize on that. Since the first, you could say, 10-15 minutes, it was just Houston just going for the first goal over and over. And we've seen this type of game before for us, and Houston has been able to get goals early, but of course the trend for this season is just the fact that okay, how many chances are we going to waste, and let's see how many shots we can take at least to see if we can just score a goal. And thankfully, it worked out for us like towards the end, but just to start with the first half at least because the one we just started the game like very quickly, and I was still somewhat concerned about RSL because they're still a pretty good team. They're still pretty high up in the standings. So I think we're like still in between in the standings, but still,
Yeah,
it's a team to worry about.
they're right above us, and you're right. They are a threatening team still. They're a very, very, very good team. They have Chicho or whatever. They have Luna. I mean, they're an blazing attack, and so I mean, RSL is no joke. So you don't come into this game confident. You come in ready to perform the game plan and see who can execute better. And RSL came in with their game plan, like you mentioned, and they actually executed their game plan pretty well as well. They just weren't able to create where it's like the Dynamo issues. They took some good shots. Steve made some good shots. We made some good blocks, but our opportunities were a lot more executed than their opportunities. I mean, we had one more shot than them for the entire game, man. So yeah, I'm with you on what the point you were making right there is, uh, uh, don't count them out ever. But credit to RSL for trying to come into Houston and throw out something different and see if it worked. So I hope other teams take notice and try it. Because no, I'm just kidding.
I mean, everyone is because that's the only thing you can do against Houston is just keep
Park
up
the
the
bus.
press and park the bus and set up the counter. And it's worked against us a few times already, but still, RSL there was just pretty much unable to, or like the differences between our previous games against them is I felt like RSL weren't, or at least on our side, we were messing up a lot or giving away the ball too much, and and like I said earlier, like the press for RSL was just right there. But I felt like for us, we were just
Yeah.
able to pass the ball fluently and just create more opportunities to score.
When you're used to possessing that much, and then somebody decides to press you a little extra, you already know where your teammates are, and you just got to be. Hey, you just got to play the ball quicker, and you just got to move quicker and anticipate quicker. And the Dynamo were able to do that last night when RSL was trying to make that press and trying to take advantage of the game. But Dynamo held strong. You finally saw a Hell in the Shell performance that we had from last year. The fans were in it, the crowd was in it, and shout out. It started with the national friggin' anthem. That kid is a friggin' star and performed like a friggin' star. You on TV, you don't get to see it probably, but I guarantee you, Apple, they should have shown a clip or something like. But the kid won American Idol or America's Got Talent, and it, he is a superstar. But that's how it started, man, with the national anthem, and then just the Dynamo followed through the purple theme, the Latino theme, with everything was purple inside the stadium as well, instead of the orange outline everywhere. It was all purple outline, which was a little different. Even though we played in purple jerseys, you still have the orange outline. It was purple everything, and then they made sure there was enough skull candies, Latino things for everybody in the stadium to get. As a matter of fact, the game was just fun, man. The game was fun. I got a
Yeah.
lot more to tell you too, but I'm gonna go grab that little skull right now and put it on the
No,
screen
yeah,
here for you.
it was. I guess it was nice because this year we didn't get any giveaway items, and I think like physical ones like that one, like a bobblehead, and that's pretty nice, honestly. I'm kind of
And
jealous.
they were even nice enough to have enough to give out to media as well. So when we entered the media
Nice.
entrance, there were some waiting at the table for us. So shout out Dynamo. You definitely hit this one on the 100%. That night was excellent. The heritage was shown. They had a nice map of all the Latin nations and showing where just everything. I think they hit this one on the point, and the crowd was there, and then the team performed.
Yeah, and the crowd was decent. And normally, whenever we have decent or strong attendance numbers, like the team starts to play like crap. but
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
time it was different, so it's great. Um, and the one thing I wanted to say, just wanted to give a shout out to Basi for actually making his shot going in the back of the net, because we've seen Basi time and time again just try and go for the goal, and he would either just sky the ball or just be unlucky and not make it. He finally got his third goal of the year against RSL, so it's great.
So was he lucky in this opportunity?
I wouldn't say so, because his shot was pretty good. It was well set up.
But lucky.
Yeah.
In what regard? Just to get specific here. Hinchada style.
You could say, you could say the bounce or yeah, just the right place at the right time. But,
all right.
yeah.
So yeah. So let's be clear. The ball following to him is the luck part. Him finishing the shot is not the luck part. That was
that's what I'm trying to say.
technique.
Yeah.
All right, yes, okay. So there was a little debate going on in Hinchada earlier. Texas Hammer, shout out, bro. But yeah, we get it. It was the luck. The luck was the ball bouncing to him or falling to him, and not being cleared by RSL. But yeah, technique was there, shot was there. Bossy, great to open up the scoring. What did it do to the rest of the game? I don't know if it changed how RSL was playing. RSL still played the exact same way after that goal, and the Dynamo didn't change anything either. So, that goal didn't change the game. It was 1-0, 27th minute. Still a lot of game to go, and you know how these games go against RSL. They're freaking nuts and they're crazy all the way to the end, as they always are. And this one is as well. So, yeah, just wanted to make that clear. I think the lucky one of the night was Dorsey's goal.
Yeah.
Herrera hit it to him, and I'm not sure if Dorsey was ready for it, but boom, golazo.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I knew you had it ready
man.
too. I knew you had it ready.
I was wearing it last night. I was watching the game with my family and friends, and because they know I'm like a massive Dynamo fan, and I was wearing the jersey. And when they saw Dorsey score, and they were like, "Oh, your player scored," and I was like, "Yeah." He always does that, like Dorsey.
And player of the match as well. So
yeah, 100%.
He got the signed supporters flag to take home with him. So.
No, yeah, good. Yeah, definitely the good news is that he was able to score his third goal of the year too. But the bad news is that Achacha went down with an injury. He had to be subbed out late in the first half. I think it's a 47th, 48th minute of the first half, and he had to be subbed out for Seba. I don't know why I mixed those up, but yeah, it was extremely concerning. But we'll get to that later because there's a bit of news we could talk about. But it was
since you brought up Hector, let's just get into it right now. So I went to the press conference afterwards. The question was asked. We don't know the severity of the injury right now. We do know, hey, it's a hammy. They did pull him out for precaution early. I think he felt it, and he pulled the trigger. Hector Herrera himself pulled the trigger early and asked for the sub. They got him off, and then boom. So that's the good news part of it. We don't know the severity yet. Ben Olsen going to the press conference immediately following the game. You go to the locker room, you talk to the boys, and then you come to the press conference. He didn't have time to check on Hector and see what the doctors had told him, anything like that. So we don't know what the severity is, but signs are leaning towards this was early, this was good. So it could be very minor. Ben also said there's also almost a guarantee he will not play Wednesday. So do not expect him to play Wednesday, which is fine. I'm good. Vancouver's a tough team, but at the same time, I'm good with Hector getting the rest, even if it was just for the fun of it, rest and not for an injury rest. But especially for Hammy, give him the rest. Make sure that he's good. He's fine. It's just probably just a little tweak, and that's all it was. And he's going to be fine. We'll see him in Austin. And that's my hope right now, and that's my feeling.
Yep.
But once the team announces, comes out with it, we'll find out on Tuesday when the question's asked again about Hector Herrera in the press conference leading up to Wednesday's game against Vancouver. So you'll just have to follow us on Twitter to find out what the results are, because the next episode you'll be a little bit behind.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, and he should definitely sit out the game against Vancouver, and hopefully we'll be able to see him against Austin and over here. So fun times.
Don't say over here. Say over there. In Austin. In Austin. I know what you mean. I know what
Over
you
here
mean.
for us, over there for everyone else. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
See, but twice this weekend I was asked, "Oh, you live in Austin?" I was like, "Yes."
Yeah.
You're a Dynamo fan? Yes. So
Yeah.
we do need to make it clear when you say over here is Houston for our listeners. Over there is Austin, whether we live in
Yeah.
Austin or not. I am an orange blood through and through. It's going to be Dynamo Dash. It's going to be them horns, even #1 in the nation. But you know where I'm at. I'm Houston born and Houston raised, and I moved when I was 16 to Austin. I've been here for 30 fucking years. I will be going back home as soon as I can figure out how to get back home. But don't worry, you don't need to test my waters. You know who I am. I am OSG, straight up all the way.
No, yeah, and you'll definitely be there regardless of like if you ever find a place or whether or not whenever you get that going on. But yeah,
I
I'm
might
on the
sleep
same boat.
outside the
But
stadium.
yeah, no, but honestly, just going back to the game at start of the second half, it's going okay. But Chicharango was able to get a long ball that looked like a 1v1 opportunity against Steve Clark. Eric Svechenko was right behind him. He was able to catch up, but Chicharango places the ball in a position where he was trying to beat Steve Clark, or like at least put the ball underneath him. And Svianchenko was able to intercept him pretty close to where Steve Clark was. And he was able to reach the ball, and I think he was trying to clear it out, but his shot went towards the far post and into the net. Oh, not the far post, but the first post, but
near
yeah,
post.
it was near post. But yeah, it was unfortunate,
Unlucky.
but it was pretty tough to clear. Unlucky, you could say.
Since luck and unluck is the word of the phrase this game. But yeah, that was a man. Come on, RSL, little crap. What was that, man? We're like even watching it because it was they were going like if you were in the press box with me this time, it was going to the goal right in front of us. So like when we watched it happen, we're like, huh? there's a blip. There's a blip in the matrix.
Yeah.
We didn't. Like what the? Maybe TV might have made it look different, but I was like, what? And then they said own goal, and like we kind of understood it better. And then because missed the replays sometimes too inside the stadium.
Well, and we're right back at the situation where okay, the game's 2-1 now, and we've been here before. It's gonna go either way. Like we're gonna pull through, or we're gonna bottle it again. We will have to find out like 15 to 20 minutes later, 25 minutes later, where like because RSL was just like we said before, RSL was pretty good. They were trying to get back into the game.
Yeah,
it
was back and forth for sure.
Yeah, back and forth. Now I'm gonna tell you right now, like Kovacic had a pretty good game considering that I had to be subbed in like pretty late into the first half and tried to. Well, he didn't because I felt like he played more wide or more centrally compared to like what Achacha was trying to do. Well, he always does, obviously, but I feel like he had a pretty good game.
They moved Coco in and put him out wide whenever they took Achacha out. So they put him in the place he's always used to playing, and they moved Coco in a little more central. Is what they did when they made that substitution. And like you said, he played well. He always plays well. I don't think, and he's ready to come off the bench. He's mentally prepared. This man's a professional, man, and you, as a fan, you gotta love a player like this who every game is not starting, but comes off the bench. It's a guarantee to come off the bench pretty much with the coach. And it's unfortunate that he can't get more starts and he can't rotate with Bassi or with Coco. So it's tough, but so shout out to that man for doing his job and staying positive and staying happy. You see him after the game in the tunnels and leaving the locker room when they're dressed and ready to go home. They're still smiling. You can see their demeanor, man. And this man's a professional, and we're lucky to have Seba right now. And I've got update to Asher had the chalk talk yesterday, so there's news to that too. But we'll bring that back in a little bit. But man, Seba, man, shout out to him, bro. So. But the game was
There we
real
go. My
good.
internet cut off. Yeah, my internet cut off. So
Hey, remember, you just pretend it never happens and just move on.
right.
Just move on. But
Yeah.
man, so I want to ask you a question about the game. I know we're still not probably done with the game, but Ponce, now I kind
Yeah.
of want to. I'm gonna let you give your impression of how he did this game, and then I'll follow up with it. But obviously, the fans are still kind of woo woo woo. Ponce, he's the highest. Expectations are high, criticism's high. What do you think about his performance in this match?
I think his performance that night was pretty decent. Of course, the goal, his last goal made it worth it. But just throughout the game, and he was able to contribute in his own way. And that's something we talked about with Matt Doyle this week, especially when it comes to us in our part just being patient towards him because he just came in and trying to fit in and all that. But it's just okay to have those expectations because it's the most expensive signing we've had. And yeah, like he contributes in his own way. Like I definitely get it. Also because I was kind of salty in some of the opportunities that he missed because he's a striker. He's supposed to know where to put the ball like towards the net and just how to try and beat the keeper and the defenders and all that. But like you can say in the second half, like he's in the right positions just to force a couple of those goals in. Um, and I'm definitely okay with how he performed here. And he got the goal, second goal with the team, and I'm still patient with him. So is it okay to be a little bit critical? That's perfectly fine. If you have to like trash him, like okay, he's done. He's not. He's just it's his first season here, half a season. So gotta be patient here.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair to trash him already. I think it's fair to criticize him and expect
Yep.
him, but to trash him already, he still has to grow into this league. He is coming from other leagues that are not like the MLS, Greece, Russia, not like the MLS. The play here is better, the style here is better, the players here are better. It's more physical, and so he does have to adjust, and he has to learn to how the MLS plays. He has to grow with the Dynamo as well. So I ask you that because in my eyes, he had a decent game, and that's
Yep.
about as far as I can go on the upscale level. I was annoyed. The way the RSL was pressing, Steve Clark would sometimes push the ball forward and send
Yeah.
it to Ponce, and I would get frustrated with Ponce because he was not, at least he wasn't ready for it. He wasn't attempting to win it, and he was just letting that defender win it. And it was just kind of like it was lazy to me, and he wasn't trying to do anything. And I think I don't know. I think I focus on that more because when I watched City earlier that day, Holland scored a great goal where it came from Ederson, and all he did was he saw where the ball was going to land. He projected where it was going to land, and he kind of trajectory blocked the defender. The defender ran into him, and then boom, he had the ball, and all he had to do was beat the keeper. And Ponce once did not try to sway that defender like, hey, I'm going to try to win this ball. He just made it easy for him, and then we just, you have to fight for possession whenever that defender clears it. So that was annoying to me. Otherwise, yeah, he just worked the ball, and he didn't lose possession when the ball was at his feet. He did miss one great opportunity where he had the ball at his feet, and Seba was making a run right next to him, and he did not play the ball. He decided to take a shot. I don't have a problem with the actual shot. I had a problem with the the execution of the shot, which was no power and it just rolled to the keeper. When you had Seba was open and could have been right onto the goal and would have probably been an easy goal. So questions, but I give him a decent. Maybe if you're a foot mob, it's a 6.6, 6.7. Definitely not a 7 where he gets a green. He's definitely under. Still got work to do, but I'm going to be patient and I'm going to be a little more easier on him than other people are.
Yeah. And a player that got a lot of criticism was Ibrahim Aliyu here, and we can always say, and this is, and I do agree that he could work at his finishing because he either shoots at the right at the keeper or it's gonna go wide, but he's creating all the plays, he's running wide, and he's making it difficult for defenders to try and cover everyone just trying to accompany Aliyu like up forward. So like he's still contributing in some way, and I feel like a lot of people are just really trashing him because he's not scoring goals, which you can criticize him for that, but you can say he's trash just because he's not scoring goals. Like you cannot see him like on the score sheet, but he's doing stuff. He's working. So
No, I
that's all I'm
guarantee you
saying.
the main issue with the fans with this guy is what they point out. He does shoot. He scores. He hits them right to the keeper sometimes. He tried to curl one in and it went to the keeper. He didn't curl it properly. Whatever. He puts his crosses in. He lays his passes off. He gets wide. He receives the ball wide. He stretches the field. I'm naming a lot of things that he's doing right and doing correct. What a lot of the criticism comes from is he's a left winger. And what do left wingers need to do and need to have in their pocket? And they need to take those defenders on in the 1v1 situation and need to attack the keeper or the defender and go towards goal, get themselves in the box. He does not do that ever anymore. He doesn't even attempt it anymore or try it. And if he does try to beat that defender where he's trying to pace, which last night the right defender outpaced Leo on every friggin' ball anyway, so he's not going to beat him with pace. But he doesn't go direct towards goal. He goes away from goal and then tries to cut back in when he's trying to beat the guy. So that's the criticism. You're a left winger, bro. Take on the defender, beat the defender, and have more creation. Don't be so predictable. That defender knows you're going to lay off and pass it back off, or lay off and put a cross in, or lay off and try to take a shot. He's not worried about you trying to beat him no more because he's not scared of you anymore. And that's the biggest criticism. If he could do that and execute that better, I guarantee you the fans will lay off more and start to understand Liu more. But right now they don't.
And that's fair. I do agree that he's not beating a lot of defenders on a 1v1, and he's just trying to like pass it back. If he could just try and beat them, kind of like how Lawrence Denali has done, that would be extremely nice. But yeah, that's how things are right now.
Man, I'm watching YouTube videos all day. I'm watching my teammates put in practice with their footwork, and I'm mimicking and I'm copying and I'm thinking I can try to do this, and I'm doing it in my own backyard by myself where nobody can watch me make a fool of myself. And I'm working on things on my own and just trying to improve my game where I know I need to improve it at the same time. Otherwise, I'm not doing myself a good service. Coaching staff also needs to point this out and bring this up and say, hey, you need to attack these players. And he does try to sometimes, but he loses his ball. He forgets to dribble, whatever. But we're professionals. You're being paid professional. I'm practicing harder and then looking and trying harder, dribbling on my own. I'm taking on my kids if I have kids, and I'm dribbling around my kids. And those are the hardest ones to dribble around sometimes because you don't know what they're going to do. So,
Yeah.
hey, play the game, practice, bro. Get it. I need you to take those defenders on, man. If you're listening to this or any of your buddies are listening to us, tell them. Attack the defenders, man. Be confident. Let's go, Aliyu. We believe in you. It's just right now it's a flip of a coin with the fan base.
Yeah. No man, what a win. 4-1. This win was massive because the top 9, or at least the top 8, it's crazy. And at least where we're standing right now, we're only separated by a few points now, like from even second place, just 4 points for second place. That's how far we've made it so far, and it's just amazing the work the team has done, especially on the road. Those road games have been saving us a lot.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think I heard Glenn Davis say something about 19 points lost at home this season. That's a lot of freaking points, bro. And when I
Yeah,
add that up, that's like, if you want to just do the math, 3 points a game if you lose, that's 6 home losses and a tie or something like that, whatever. Yeah, like it just sounds ridiculous that your home record is that bad, man. Crazy.
yeah. And the good thing is that we do have somewhat of a cushion for points, or at least like from the last few playoff
Not with
spots. But
Vancouver.
of course, the idea, yeah, I was gonna get to that, but the idea is just to win as many games as possible. And Vancouver being the team that's we're facing next, they're right above us by 1 point, so
With the
it's
game in
ideal to
hand.
get the win here. What a game in
With
hand, so we have
yeah,
to win this game.
so we can beat them, and then they win their next game, and they're right back ahead of us. So yeah, so things are different. And then, like you said, the Austin and Dallas are 10 and 11, and they're sitting 5 points away from ninth place. So that's I think it's what I was looking at. But so,
Yeah.
good. We're definitely safe, even if we do lose to Vancouver. We're not falling out of the playoff position, but that does suck, especially for being at home. Can't let Fafa Pico, who just scored yesterday as well with a little header off a corner kick. Can't let him come in here and beat us because slow feet don't eat or whatever. But we got to do this. But man, what a game, bro! What a game!
No, so it's gonna be an insane week for Dynamo. Those 2 games, Vancouver and Austin, and
Mm-hmm.
and man, I do need that result in Austin.
100% for sure. But before we transition to the dash, man, so I got there a little early as I always do, and there was a chalk talk. So as a season ticket holder, you're invited to some chalk talks throughout the year. Asher Mendelsohn was the guest speaker. Love Asher as always. Everybody loves Asher. He's just he tells it like it is, and he answers the questions, man. So got to go down to the chalk talk. It's a 30-minute segment. They take us down to the media room where they do the press conferences. So it was quite a few fans. It was a full room, and everybody got to ask some questions, man. And I sat down right smack in front of him, and I'm ready to go. And he go, "Anybody got questions?" I paused for just a second, just to allow the crowd to go first, because I had questions written down. And nope, I rose my hand, and he knows me anyway, so.
No.
I still have my media pass on. I didn't take it off, whatever. So I went and just started asking them questions, man. Started hitting them up. Other fans asked some questions that were in there as well. But for Nelson Quinones, things are, he's back on the field. He's training by himself. He's running, which is good news. We did not ask about if there was any setbacks that is being rumored for Quinones, but said he should be ready to go for the first week of the season. Nolly, expect him back during the summer. So definitely, you will. Obviously, the time frame adds up. You would not see him to begin the season next year. It'll be the summer, whenever he's able to return. So you have you have a problem at hand. You have Quinones. You have Aliyu. You're going to have a Nolly again. You're going to have Arzu, who's going to be joining the team next season, most likely. You have a good problem at hand. So it was good that, he addressed those situations. Somebody asked about Gabe Siegel, and he mentioned it's kind of hard to get Gabe Siegel onto the pitch when, Ponce's come in, and Gabe Siegel's number 3 on the depth chart. So it's good that he's playing for Dose. He's still under concussion protocol, should be returned soon. The biggest thing, the Colombian for you, I know for you as well, but for others and for the very intrigued fans, Andy Botijo. Yeah, you say it right because you've got the Latino accent and the Latino language, but he's expected to show up to the team later this week, and I'm not sure if he'll be ready to play on Sunday. I believe is their next game. So, but he will be with the team. Will be practicing. So expect to see him, and he's a left winger as well, but can play on both sides, left wing, right wing. So another person to add to the mix that he's the number 3rd rated player in Colombia, period, in all positions. So he's a high profile player that the Dynamo are looking forward to getting into the camp. And, and going back to Nolly, Asher also mentioned that they beat out, Bundesliga's club. They beat out championship clubs from England. And they didn't they didn't make a bigger offer. They made the same offer, and it was Anali that made the decision where to go. And Anali felt that, and this is Asher's words. Anali felt that this was his best path to get him into the Premier League. And I was like, wow.
Damn.
I mean, that says a lot for the MLS as well, and what Anali thinks of it. But yes, and I guarantee he's. I do believe he is right. He's going to get a lot of exposure when he does play, and he already had it too. And then they're gonna. I mean, if he is what we saw and what we expect and what the potential's there, but he's going to the Premier League next. Forget anybody else. So yes, proud of this man for making this, or this kid for making this decision and doing what he's doing. Unfortunately, he's injured. He'll come back, and I guarantee he'll be strong as ever. Asher did say his injury is straightforward, and Quinones's was not, or the other way around. Damn, now I can't remember which way it was. Damn. Oh well. Next time, though.
Still,
But it was
a lot of good problems to have either way. You could say.
Yeah, 100%. Otherwise than that, man, nothing else. Nothing special from the press conference. We did ask. He did mention that talk about a new player that Pat has a press conference on Tuesday. So I did say, okay, well, since you mentioned Pat wants to talk, I'm not going to ask my question about this certain player. But moving on, and I asked about Diego Gonzalez and Sebastian Rodriguez and their trajectory coming into the team. And he started with Sebas, and, he's young. He's like, I think he's 16. I go, he's 17. As a matter of fact, his birthday was yesterday, and you were there for it.
Yeah.
You witnessed his birthday. But his trajectory is, I think he's on path. He'll most likely be a second team player next year. But he's somebody who's definitely in the future of the plans for the Dynamo, and they definitely have strong eyes on him and want to take care of him. And then he mentioned Diego Gonzalez, who is a 10, an attacking midfielder, and it's hard for him right now to even try to break into the team and get that opportunity. But he's somebody they're keeping an eye on too as well, and so he's hoping both trajectories will come to the first team. But had to make sure that where are these guys at. And then, as you saw on Friday night, they're both stellar people, even outside the gate. We got to talk to them and just say hi to them and their families as well. Shout out to y'all if you're listening.
No, both players and their families are just amazing people, and just gotta sometimes think about like what they do behind the scenes and how they make this type of decisions. Especially just resigning with a dime must be insane for them. Like for us, it's just like kind of news because we like, oh, that's cool. But I mean, for families that have been sacrificing a lot of time and money, because Sebastian's family, they literally take like an hour and 15 to 30 minutes just to go to practice and back. And just imagine doing that like 4 or 5 times a week and then going to games. That takes a lot of dedication. So just gotta feel for them, and of course the players just for being able to put a lot of effort just paying off. So it's amazing.
Right. They're not taking their kid to games. Well, I mean, at home they are, but on the road they're not taking their kids to game. He's riding the bus or the plane, and they're following along and joining and just enjoying their moment with their child. And he just got back from Sebastian Rodriguez, just got back from the U18 Mexican national team in Slovenia, and he had a great time with that and enjoyed every moment of it. So they're experiencing a lot. He just literally turned 17. What's he going to do for his birthday? We were asking him, what's he going to get? And we're asking his parents, and we started joking around like, no, man, he's got a first team contract. Let him get whatever he wants. Y'all ain't got to worry about it no more. Nah,
right.
But just having a good time with him. But good peeps and good fun as always, man. But that's all I got from the chalk talk from Asher and from the game itself. There was a couple other media resources there that were providing for the game, but it was fun. Good press conference as well. I think Ben had a good press conference, 8 or 9 questions asked. So y'all go listen to it if you haven't already.
And the bit of news that happened during the DOS game that just came out of nowhere, that was broken by Tom Bogert, friend of Instant Ramen. He said that Dynamo have signed midfielder Junior Moreno, fellow Venezuelan midfielder, 31-year-old. Awesome. I say out of nowhere because we're already past the window, and I felt like we've had enough midfielders already. But this one is interesting because his type of player, it's someone that can fit into either Artur's or Achiach's profile. So I'm guessing a type of player that we're looking for to either come in and get minutes for them. either that or so Gragas is not working or there's like an issue going on that they're just gonna have like another player in there.
That's
But
pretty
yeah, I
simple.
feel
It's
like
it's it's
yeah,
step number one. It's just an Arthur and Ache backup that they believe in.
yeah.
Grey Goose is a goose and doesn't exist. They don't. They obviously. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, man. And they obviously don't believe in Reigns. Reigns gets 6 minutes a game now, so yeah. So this is a and had nothing to do with the window. Roster freeze was Friday, and that's the last day you can sign free agents. He was not under
Yeah.
contract with nobody, which is why we were allowed to sign him at such late date. So we'll see what he can do. He does have experience. Uh, he is at 6. He is at 8. He plays 8 more. So we'll see what he can do overall. He's going to provide for the team. They'll talk about it more on Tuesday, I'm sure, when Pat gets into it. And then Ben will follow up with the preview to the Vancouver game. So interesting, whatever. I don't think this was a necessary move. I would have approved Reigns getting more time. They just said it's a safe move, is what it is.
Yeah, I felt like it was more of experience, but yeah, Broken Reigns should be getting more time either way.
Yeah, they just don't believe in him, and you're going to make a push to the playoffs, is what it is how we can look at it and make that assumption. We're going to make a playoff
Yeah.
push, and we want somebody with more experience. But, if you don't play Reigns, he's not going to get the experience either. So he could have played a good 15, 20 minutes at the end of that game last night. The game was out of hand, and when he made his subs, there was only 6 minutes left to go now. So
Right. Yeah, I was like, man, he should have come in a little bit earlier,
yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah.
you control the game. Let's go. Trust your players a little bit more, Ben. Don't be so stubborn, bro.
Right. But yeah, that was plenty of Dynamo and lots to look forward to. But gotta talk about Dash now.
Yeah, do we? Sure.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
it's time.
All right. Well, whatever. Yeah, man. Let's just make it quick and easy about the dash, because this is just on repeat mode. We know where we're at. This point
Yeah.
of the season, with just so many games left. Tarsi's out. I think she's out for the season. No problem.
Yep.
Jacobs isn't playing or didn't even starting, but she's making the bench. So I'm confused by that. She signs her contract extension and then hasn't set a minute on the field. And she was needed today because you dropped Puntgam into defense when Chappie was pulled out at halftime. And even Chappie got the start. I would have started Jacobs, obviously. So something going on with Jacobs. And I do need to admit, I didn't listen to the press conference prior to the game to see if Ricky Clark alluded to anything that was happening. Like Bachman wasn't even in the lineup at all. On the bench at all. So, but playing Washington, you don't expect to go in there and get a win at all. You know where you're at the season. You don't have a GM. You don't have a coach
Or coach.
You have an assistant coach that is not going to be the coach next season. May still be the assistant coach. You never know, because a new coach comes in and wants to bring his own staff. You're trying to build a core with certain players, but the team doesn't have any kind of mold at all going on right now. So I don't even think we need to talk about the game. They lost 3-0.
No, yeah.
It is what it is. We just need to get to the friggin' off season. We need some clarity spoken once we finally make that past that last game. And what we need to do now is Ricky Clark needs to play these other players who do not get opportunities to play, and just see if there's anything in them. They may not practice well, but they may play better. And so just throw everything out the window. You're in last place. You're not making anything no more. Let's just train, work on the players, play everybody. I mean, even bench Jane for a game. We know what she is. Let's let Aaron McKinney and Heather Hines.
Heather Hines. Yep.
Hines. Heather
Hins. All right.
By her words herself, her voice herself.
Good.
Yeah, so I had
I'm
to
glad you
correct
corrected
myself.
it.
Yeah. So because I was Hines as well, let them play and get some time. They're rookies, and now's the time to just do it. And I'm sure Jane Campbell's a professional. She's going to be here for the next 4 years. Let them play, and let's just work on what we can for next year. And then when we go into the off season, we, as Foxtrot TV or Foxtrot Media, it's our duty to go and push the envelope in Bio City Soccer, to push the envelope and find out where, and Glenn Davis as well, and find out where what the transparency is and what's going to go on and what's happening. Where's Fran Alonso? What are we going to do? Is there a GM? What's the technical advisor doing to help us out in this situation? Is Tim Howard being giving advice to help out the Dash? We're going to find out all that. We're going to push and we're going to find out all that. And hopefully we get answers, and they're going to have to give answers because everybody's pushing. So shout out to you, Bio City. We expected for you to be pushing. We're going to push. Anybody else that's asking for the Dash, Theo, if you're listening, push. Let's all get together. Let's find out this, and let's make this team. Let's make this team better. And it's going to be a complete reset, obviously. So it sucks that we're back there again, but whatever. I still watched all 90 minutes of it, or all 146 minutes with all the additional time that was added.
Yeah. No, we are at the part of the season where you have to throw something at the wall to see what sticks. Since we are still last place in the league, we want to see something that, or we want to be optimistic. We want to see what this team can offer heading into the offseason and heading into next year, because just watching this game and watching, or at least learning more about Washington's spirit or how they were in the last 4 years, they turned things around. And in that span of time, cool, we won the Challenge Cup in a tournament because of the pandemic. 4 years later, we are a flip-flop team that you could say has some good moments sometimes, but it's inconsistent every single year. And I've already said this in the last episode about like what's going on with Fran Alonso, the GM situation, and all that. I don't want to repeat myself since everyone knows what's going on at this point. We need, but I'm just gonna say it again. We need communication. We don't know what's going on. If the club is expecting fans to show up and be excited for something, they have to tell us why. Because it's great that we're resigning players that we're keeping for next year, the players that we've been seeing this year that have been showing promise. But why should we get excited when this type of result happens? Why should we get excited? Because like when the next year comes in, we still don't have a plan, and it's just a repeat of this year, because it's difficult. And for fans, it takes investment. Like for us as media, cool, we go to games for free, as we cover games and all that. But for fans, they're the ones that have to drive to every single game, pay for parking, pay for tickets, pay for concessions, pay for merchandise, pay for that, and it's just insanely difficult to be a fan now. Like they don't tell us anything. They expect us to know what's going on around the league, and you just look at all the teams, not just Washington, but all the teams around the league. They're just doing better because women's soccer is just growing over time, putting more investment into it, and it's great. And of course, we just got Tim Howard, which is nice, but we don't see a progress. All these things are going on with us right now, and we don't know anything. Like we don't what our expectations for this team. No, we don't know, and we just have to be somehow pessimistic or more realistic about it, because at the end of the day, this is the team that we have right now. And I've said it before, we have players that are gonna keep fighting for each other, but they're just gonna keep fighting for losses, because like it's just how it is now. And it sounds very rough for the players what I just said, but that's the reality. And we're just gonna keep seeing this towards the end of the year, and until they tell us otherwise. So that's all I'm gonna say.
Well, right now, expectations is we suck. History says we suck. History says we've had one playoff game in the history of the Dash, period, and we lost that game 1-0 at home with a record-setting crowd. So it was the worst. The worst. We have no history. We have no reason for teams to believe, or for the fans to believe, that we can do anything. We haven't proven anything.
Yep.
You had one little opportunity and you lost it. And everybody's going to blame that Juan Carlos left us, and that it's the Dash's fault that Juan Carlos left us. He didn't want to be here to begin with. He came over here, he coached, and then he went to his job that he wanted, which was in Gotham. There's nothing Dash could have done about that. They could have offered him 3 times as much money, and he probably still would have went to Gotham. So this situation sucks, and it's up to the FO to figure out what they're going to friggin' do. And like we've said up in the past couple of episodes, Jessica O'Neill's the one in the hot seat right now, and I guarantee you Ted Siegel's looking down on her and be like, "Hey, you have 2 months left. You have 2 months left till the end of the season. You better figure out something, do something, prove to me something, show me something, the reason why that I need to keep you. Otherwise, I need to replace you, and I have to start from scratch from the top to the bottom." And that's nuts, because we've gone through however many rebuilds. What are we, 2014 with the Dash? We're in existence 10 years, 11 seasons. We have 1 playoff season. How many times how many times we rebuild, so Rachel Daly left, and that was the end of this little strings. It does suck though, man. And so this off season will be huge. Are we going to be the joke of the NWSL, or are we going to try to come back and be somebody who's going to be competitive? The signs I don't know. I mean, these players that we like or that are resigning that we do believe in is maybe a good sign, but what is that sign? That's just a sign they believe in each other as a core, as a team, and they believe that the front office is going to fix everything else from behind the scenes. So we'll see. There's a lot of answers, a lot of questions to be answered, and we're going to hit them hard.
We're gonna do that. And well, are we gonna come back next week to say the same thing? I think so, but it's up to them. And if we see something different on the field, we'll probably gotta talk about it. But at this point, it's kind of like we're gonna try something new, like you said. So
yeah. There's always something to talk about, but we'll see. We'll go from week to week, and man, I'm so I didn't even look forward to see who do we have. We're at home next week. I do know that. I do know that I won't be going. I am choosing to stay here in Austin and catch the Dynamo at the Austin game. So unfortunately, I won't go catch the Dash in Houston. I mean, again, you can't blame me.
It's on Saturday, so it's pretty much impossible.
Yeah, I mean they're the exact same time, and I knew that. I knew that from the beginning of the season. So at the beginning of the season, I chose I'm going to go to this home game against Austin, and I have to sacrifice a Dash for this one. So unfortunately, it'll be what it is. But right now, the situation for the Dash, I think they're going to understand, and they might want to come out and watch the game in Austin with us instead of going to shell themselves. Just kidding.
No, yeah. And the week after that is in Orlando, so awesome.
Who do we have home this weekend?
Seattle, and the week after it's on the road against Orlando. So it's fun times.
OL Reign's up and coming, and then Seattle now, whatever they're going to be called, and then Orlando, of course, is Orlando. They're still undefeated. So, damn.
But
yeah. We'll just talk. We'll just talk about it and let you know what we know, and give you more reason to listen to us. I guess we'll have good debates.
Yeah. We'll try to not repeat ourselves over and over, but it's just important because it is the situation right now, and we'll keep telling it like it is until it stops happening. So yeah.
All right, well, I'm ready to go watch the Texans kick some butt tonight on prime time.
Yeah, Sunday night. No, I'm looking forward to that game. It's gonna be insane. Still kind of salty because we just came out of watching the Dash game, and I'm like, we just vented and all that, but it's now Texas time.
It's okay. Did our job, we did our job. We reported, we vented, we talked about it, and then we move, and we'll see what happens next week. We got the Dynamo on Wednesday night, so we'll see. I'll just keep up, and we'll see if there's what happens during the week, what happens on Tuesday with the press conference with Pat Onstad. But we'll keep you entertained, I guess, maybe, hopefully.
Yeah.
If you are,
updated
Mhm.
on X and Instagram, on
Everything.
Noodle Tiempo, Dynamic Foxtrot, those handles mostly for Twitter and Instagram at Dynamic Foxtrot. And as always, we put up our updates on GoFight.com/Dynamic Foxtrot. So make sure you're updated or at least read off our posts. And that's also where we put out our articles as well as Goals.tv. And
Foxtrot
yeah, guys,
TV on YouTube. Foxtrot TV on YouTube, where you can
and
catch your
Goals TV,
Noodle
yeah.
Time and Dynamico instant ramen and Marucho ramen whenever we have a Spanish version. So yeah, y'all stay
Yeah.
tuned. Stay tuned. We'll keep it
No, yeah,
going.
yeah, and last but not least, of course, guys, we do appreciate support as always. So if you're listening us for this long, this episode is gonna be pretty long, I bet. But I really do always appreciate you guys are here and listening and tuning in every single week. So and sharing it. So we do appreciate that.
Yeah, it's our job to keep them entertained. I'm pretty sure they were entertained with the dose segment. We had DFTV join us for the dose segment. Thank you guys for hopping
Yep.
on, and I'm sure David's listening right now. David, hi. And then we move into the Dynamo. We had a lot of discussion with them tonight, a lot of good information. So I like it. And then Dasher doing what Dasher doing. So I think we did have a good episode today. We had a lot of good information, a lot of good debate. So hit us up in the comments on any of those platforms. And, it's up to Foxtrot for some of those platforms to let us know if there are comments coming from behind. And we'll reply to you. We'll talk to you. We'll discuss with you if you want to, man. But, yeah, we're open to it. Come
Yep.
on with it. Or hop in Hinchada and let's discuss there, too. Always open for that.
Definitely. And yeah, just give us a comment. Feedback always goes a long way for us. But yeah, guys, as always, thank you so much for tuning in and stay noodle, y'all.
H's.